What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and as always, thank you all very much for tuning in. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Over the weekend, we had a new series fire up across the pond with the MXGP series at round 1 in Argentina. This year in that series, we had some huge team changes from some of the biggest names in the series, and one of them came right out and dominated. The other one struggled a little bit, but ended the weekend better than he started it. The defending champ looked good and put it on the box, and tons more went down in the insanely stacked MXGP class. The MX2 class is a little bit on the weaker side this year due to riders moving up to the 450, but the racing was still great in the 250s as well. So for today's video, we're just going to go through the results of the first MXGP and talk about what all went down in both classes and just some surprises, some good, some bad, and much more. But before we do all that, got to give a huge thank you and a shout out to the channel sponsors. They help me keep all this going, help me get to all the races and stuff and places where I go to bring you guys content. So please guys do me a favor and go check them out. Huge thank you to ASV Inventions, home of the Unbreakable Lever, Serious Studio, who can take care of all your merch needs, and the DesignLabCo.com. They got some great designs in their lab at their co, and if you need graphics, look no further than there. I have links and discount codes in my video description, and if you guys buy from them, a small portion of the sale goes to me to help keep us going. So if you're supporting them, you are literally supporting me. And also, I'm doing the TV announcing for the GT Arena Cross series on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2 with Daniel Blair. Here's the airing schedule. Would really appreciate it if you guys would tune in. Not only will entertainment be guaranteed in your contract, but it'll also help me keep my job. But thank you guys again for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Alright, first of all, before we dive into the actual results and what went down on the weekend, we'll just real quick give some thoughts on the track. It was not the classic Argentina track that everybody thinks of with the amazing scenery, the super fast flowing features on the volcano dirt. This is actually the third track in 3 years that they've been to in Argentina, and this one seemed pretty good, I thought. Had some good elevation change, some faster sections, seemed to flow pretty well and provided some good racing and passing opportunities. And for me, it's pretty cool to see how the MXGP tracks tend to form in contrast to what we have here in Pro Motocross. These guys have much flatter tracks, so they're able to move around a lot more compared to the rut cross that we sometimes have here, but it was still crazy choppy, and it did not look like even a little bit of fun to ride by the last moto of the weekend. Definitely separated the men from the boys all weekend long, but we'll go ahead and jump into the results. We'll start with the 450 class because that's where most of the action I think is going to be this season. And with the win, a 1-1 dominating ride on a brand new ride is Jeffrey Herlings on his Honda. Gets the win in his first MXGP race on a Honda, and what a ride that was. I mean, the dude kind of relapsed and did what we've seen him do in the past in the qualifying race. He had a crash on lap 1. Didn't even score any points in the qualifying race because you got to get top 10 for that. Didn't even have a good gate pick, and usually Herlings, we see him start on gate 1 and he struggles to get starts even from there on the unfair MXGP starts. But shockingly, the dude actually barked a couple of almost hole shots. He did hole shot one moto, almost got another one from like gate 15, so that was a huge improvement right off the bat. And yeah, he looked like a combo of the Bullet and Beast Mode. I mean, he looked like prime Herlings. Coming into the corners, the dude's wide open with the clutch in, just full RPMs at the National, just blasting berms. I mean, you can hear it. It's pretty cool. On some of the MXGP camera shots that are lower to the ground, you can really just hear how hard that dude's on the gas because he's absolutely taped. But the first moto had a good duel with his teammate Vialle, ended up getting him towards the end. And in the second moto, that was a hell of a ride, a classic vintage Herlings ride. Came through the pack, made tons of passes, hunted down Febvre at the end of the moto and got the win for a 1-1 sweep and the red plate after not even scoring any points in the qualifying race. So sounds like the Bullet's back to full form, but we all know the deal with Jeffrey. He's got to stay healthy for the whole season. That's what he's had a lot of trouble doing. So here's to hoping he can do that because, like I always say, the sport's better with all the top dogs in it, and Herlings is definitely one of the top dogs. Always fun to watch, so hopefully he stays in it for the whole series, puts on a show for us. But that 1-1, that's how you want to start a series. And then in the runner-up spot, MXGP champion from last year, Roman Febvre, with a 3 and a 2. Great start to the series for him. I feel like he usually starts just a little bit slower than this. So to come right out, be right there behind the Bullet, go 3-2 on the box, and beat pretty much all of his other title contenders besides Jeffrey. I mean, he did beat them all, so that's definitely a great weekend from Febvre, and he's the past champ. I mean, he won a champ in 2015, he won a champ in 2025, so talk about a spread between championships, but the guy knows how to get it done. He's a veteran, he's been there, he's done it, he did it last year, so I think he's going to be in this thing till the end. I think he's definitely one of our series title contenders, and he started off by proving why we all think that. But then behind Febvre in the 3 spot, in my opinion, the surprise of the weekend, Tom Vialle on the HRC Honda with a 2 and a 4. and he won the qualifying race. I could not really believe it, actually. I figured Vialle would be a guy that, you know, consistency would pay off. He'd maybe be a 5, 6, 7, 8 guy all season, but Just do that every single round, and by the end of the series, he'd be like a third in points or something like that. But Tom just showed us all kinds of stuff that he never really showed us in pro motocross over here in the States. Blazing speed, tons of aggression. The dude looks so comfortable on the Honda and on a 450. And I definitely, needless to say, I did not have it on my bingo card for Tom Vialle to go blowing around the outside of Jeffrey Herlings straight up for the lead in race one. But Herlings ended up getting him back. Vialle with a second in the first moto, then a fourth in the second one. Maybe a little bit of a fade at the National in Moto 2, but it was his first race on the 450. It's a whole nother beast hanging onto that thing for 30+2 twice, so I'm sure he'll get there when it's time. I mean, shoot, he's already there, right on the box, first 450 race. And MXGP Tom Vialle is not the same as USA Tom Vialle, not even a little bit. MXGP Tom Vialle, he's a beast, and he's back. And then just off the podium, the other big name with the big team switch is Tim Gajser on the Yamaha with a 6 and a 3. A rough start to the weekend for him, a little bit off in the time practice and the free practice, and then had a gnarly crash in the qualifying race with a lapper. I think he landed on him and went down pretty hard. I think he was saying like his bicep or something was hurting him, his arm, but all that disaster aside, his 6th in the first moto, not great, just kind of picked his way through, but like I said at the beginning, he ended the weekend a lot better than he started it, ended up with a 3rd in Moto 2, and that's the sign of life that we need to see out of Gajser. I mean, he's another one, multi-time champion. He knows how to get it done, and he knows how to do it over the course of a full season. You know, you can't win it at round one, but you certainly can lose it, and when he was crashing with that lapper, he probably thought maybe he was losing it there, but it all buffed out. Had a decent points day, nothing special, but he definitely is in the ballpark of at least, heading in the direction of where he needs to be a title contender on the new bike. And then rounding out the top 5, Lucas Coonan with a 4 and a 6. I feel like we all expected a little bit more out of him, but I saw something on Instagram this morning. He got hit by a rock or something in the eye. It was all swollen, and maybe he could only see out of one eye or something like that. So that's typically not ideal to have in your contract when you're racing dirt bikes. I mean, I usually couldn't see all the stuff I needed to see with 2 eyes, so a little bit of a struggle for Lucas Coonan, not exactly what he was looking for, but again, if he wants to be a title guy, having a 4 and a 6 on your bad day for a 5th overall is definitely where you need to be. You win championships on your bad days, and it could have been a bad day for Lucas Coonan, but it ended up just being so props to him for that. And then headed towards this back half of the top 10, a 6th overall for Ruben Fernandez with a 10.5, the 3rd HRC Honda in the top 6. Hell of a start to the season for those guys. You can tell they got their stuff together big time with 3 riders all up front, but good ride for Fernandez. I feel like he's a little bit of a low-key, serious ripper in MXGP, has tons of speed, can sometimes be a little bit of a loose unit, but a seriously talented dude. And then 7th overall, a quiet 7.8 for Maxime Renault, the winner of the opening round in Argentina last year, but didn't quite have that same magic this year, only a 7th, and a quiet 7th at that. Didn't really see much from him. And this is a guy, he was an MX2 champ. I feel like he was Yamaha's next big hope a couple of years ago to be the world champ in the 450s, and just hasn't quite panned out for him. I don't know if it's been injuries. I know he's had some of those. Just whatever it is, something hasn't quite came together for him. And then a new rookie in the MXGP class, Andrea Adamo, 11.7 for 8th. Great ride in the qualifying race. I think he was up front for most of race 1 and had a crash, then ended the weekend with a 7th in race 2. Definitely a solid debut for him. I'm not going to lie. He was running a little bit better than I thought. I kind of thought, maybe he could use another year or two in MX2, rack up another championship and some win bonuses and all that. But what the hell do I know? I'm just some guy talking about races, and Adamo looked really good on the 450, had a solid ride. And then another rookie moving up, 9th for Thibaut Benestant, 9.9, super consistent, super quiet, and he's another one, tons of potential, but just hasn't quite panned out for him over the course of the career. But had to move up to MXGP. The MX2 250 class has that 23 age rule. When you turn 23, you got to move up to a 450, and that's where Benestant's at. But definitely a solid debut for him on the 450, and then a 10th overall for Pauls Jonas on the Kawasaki. He got screwed by the second moto red flag. They had Alberto Ferrato jump the gate. They actually did like 6 minutes for some reason, and then they finally decided to red flag it. Jonas was up front, I think, on that first one, but he was down in turn 2 on the second one, so that kind of screwed him over, but still a top 10, and he showed plenty of flashes that we may or may not have seen last year. I think he's in a lot better of a spot to start the season than he was in 2025. But then outside the top 10, just a couple more talking points. 11th for Calvin Vlanderen and a 17th for Jeremy Seewer on the Ducatis. Not really the most positive talks coming out of Europe about the Ducati team over there. A lot of struggles. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Jeremy Seewer. The dude got lapped. Definitely not ideal for him, and tons of potential for Calvin Vlanderen. I mean, he's podiumed several times over the course of the last couple of years, and it's not like an 11th is a disaster, but I'm sure it's not what he was looking for, and I'm sure after a couple of really good years years riding the Yamaha and doing well for them. I'm sure he's not stoked to end up on a team that's got a little bit of a bad rap over there. And it's a little bit weird to me that Ducati's struggling over there, because I feel like coming over here in Supercross with Ferrandis, they're doing pretty solid. I mean, I think Ferrandis is about as good on that bike as he would be any other bike. So some disconnect between the European and the American efforts over there. Maybe they need Ziggy. I don't know, but not ideal for any of them. And a 31st for Jago Geerts on the Beta. I have no idea what happened. There's no way the guy got 31st straight up, but the 450 career has just been a complete disaster for Jago. I mean, he showed up at Redbud MXON several years ago while he was still an MX2 guy, and just showed so much on the 450, was right with Tomac. You know, he beat some of the baddest dudes in the MXGP class at the time, and ever since he's moved up, I don't know what it's been, but something ain't right. Jago Geerts is unfortunately a little bit cooked right now. But that was MXGP. We'll breeze through the 250 class because I don't really think there's quite as much going on in there. But 1-1 for Simone Langenfelder, the reigning MX2 champion, pretty much uncontested. Had an issue in the qualifying race where crashed in the first corner. I think he blew out a bunch of spokes or something and got no points. But backed it up with a 1-1 on race day. Made some crazy aggressive moves along the way, really just trying to assert himself at the top of the field. Let everybody know he's here to do the same thing that he did last year. So a great day for Langenfelder, and then a second and a third for the two Tri-Muffs, Guillaume Ferez and Camden McClellan. Really cool story for Ferez. I think he was like working at a grocery store or something when Star Yamaha got him out of the gutter a couple of years ago. That foray to the States didn't quite work out, but then it led him to get on a good ride when he went back to Europe on Triumph, and he got a moto win and a podium last year. Starting out this year with a second overall is awesome. And then my guy Camden McClellan from South Africa, a fan of the channel, total legend, goes 6-2 for a third overall. A great start to the series for him as well. I feel like he's one of these guys that's coming in that could low-key be a title contender. He's had the potential for it, but I think he's had a little bit of issue with consistency across all surfaces and across the whole season. So we'll see if he's worked on that, but a good ride for all those guys. And then a little bit of an underwhelming fourth for Liam Everts with a 7-3. I feel like he was coming into this thing with high hopes. A lot of people had touted him to be able to challenge Langenfelder for the championship this year, but at round one, not really close. But again, it's only round one, and this GP series is so long. I mean, it lasts till the end of August, maybe even into September, so we got a long way to go. I mean, maybe Everts is just going to peak at the right time. He's got a long time to do it, but only a fourth for him, and then a fifth for the rookie, Yannis Rezulis, a 4 and a 6. This is one of those kids, he could be one of the next big things out of Europe. He's got an EMX 250 championship. He was really good on the 125, and I think he's still really young, maybe only 16, so stay tuned to the future success of this kid. And then we'll just run through the rest of the top 10 real quick. A 6th for Matisse Villan, factory Kawasaki with a 5.7. He's another one, tons of potential. I expect some breakout rides out of him this year, but didn't quite happen at the first one. And then a 7th for another Rezulis. They're brothers from Latvia. This one was Carlos Rezulis. The older one got a 7th. And then an 8th overall for Sasha Kunin. Call this dude a cooler because he's Rubbermaid. A 2 and a DNF. Had a huge crash at the beginning of race 2 that took him out of contention. And he's used to having that in his contract. He crashes a lot, but I don't think this one was his fault. He just didn't have a great start. A couple people had crap hit the fan right in front of him, and he had nowhere to go. They were suspecting a knee injury, but I guess everything's going to buff out. So lucky to hear that, because he's definitely one of the contenders moving forward in this thing, but not ideal. Just started out with a big points hole and a DNF in race 2, but finishing out the top 10, a 9th for Jens Wolvert and a 10th for Kaz Volk. A couple more thoughts, a 13th for Valerio Lata, an 8 and a DNF on the factory HRC Honda 250 effort. He's another one. He could be a serious contender for maybe a win or a lot of podiums this year. He should definitely be around a top 5 guy, but an 8 and a DNF, not the start to the series he was looking for. And then last thought on the entire race, we had a Ducati 250 enter the fray. I don't even feel like anybody's hardly talked about it. I didn't even really know about it until I was looking through the results earlier today, but they had Ferruccio Zanchi. He was supposed to race it, but I guess he's out with injury, so they drafted in Simone Mancini. He was an EMX 250 guy last year, and I think they just needed a bike on track, so I don't know that they necessarily expected a ton out of Mancini. But in Ducati's first ever 250 race, they got a 13th in the first moto and a 20th in the second one, so point scoring in both motos. I mean, hell, they just got a random guy, a fill-in guy, and he did about the same as the 450 guys did. So although the 450 class is way more stacked, For the situation these guys are given, I guess that could be a lot worse of a start to the series for Ducati. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys on today's video. Really appreciate you guys listening, watching, and tuning in. It means a lot to me. And as always, please let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. If you liked it, if you hated it, if you agree with my takes, if you disagree with them, if you like MXGP, I would recommend watching it. I got the MXGP TV pass, and the racing is awesome. Really good production, broadcast, commentary from Paul Malin, all that stuff. It's really enjoyable. But yeah, like I said, leave a comment. Let me know if I'm a cooked unit or what you think. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Free of choice.